there are various levels of racism, and I will only speak from an internal perspective that I am aware of regarding Israel and some of its inhabitants. I'll give a bit of a historical perspective as well. I remember as a young child in 1976, 1977, watching on TV the airlifting of a nomadic tribe that was wandering around Africa, known as the Falasha Jews. And they were airlifted to Israel. Israel has done a drive and continues to do a drive to attract Jews from various societies that they reside in. And those who may not know, there is an established Jewish population in Iran who are comfortable in Iran and were also asked to travel to Israel and settle there, resettle there. There are Yemeni Jews who have been asked to go to settle in the occupied territories, and they've all refused. Going back to the Falasha Jews, African Jews, as there are many, they were airlifted to Israel. And if you checked a generation later what the roles many of them had were and are, apart from those who are in military, police, you'll see them there, you'll see black Jews and everything, they were in menial tasks, road sweepers, toilet cleaners, and I'm not looking down upon anyone who has those trades. Any business and trade or work or profession is a noble one, as long as you're not raising your hand and begging for people unnecessarily when you're capable of working. But I digress. So we saw that. That's where they were hierarchically in Israeli society generation or so later. There's also evidence, and it's there to find, of Kenyans and I think Ethiopians in particular, Eritreans, immigrants who travel to Israel being sterilized by the Israeli medical system, sterilized so they couldn't have any children. And apparently the Israelis admitted this. They didn't want black generations from these populations. So I'm only going to stick to that and say, with what I've highlighted there, that indicates, or they are intimations of the existence of racism within Israel. But I want to come back from a different perspective now. While we're focusing on that, we've got to remember that the societies that we're living in, the UK, and many of the Western societies and Eastern societies also are racist to varying degrees. So, for example, in the UK, we continue to have institutionalized racism. In America, there is institutionalized racism. There is white privilege that is prevalent across many societies. So while we're asking about Israel, there is ample evidence in our own society and other societies across the world. Let's not even speak about the Latin Americas and those who went across there and then became the most populous in order to drive a depopulation of Africans and the indigenous people of the Latin Americas. This is a totally different topic that we can speak about. So we shouldn't just focus on Israel because of what's taking place at the moment and the questions being asked in relation possibly to the Palestinians in that respect. But I want to talk about what is known in that regard there. Are they racist towards Palestinians? Some would argue no. Some would say this is a religious dispute, but then there's a xenophobia there in itself as well, which is a problem anyway. So we need to place this within a wider context of racism, which is a discussion for another day.